my name is Wenwen. I'm a brother in Alpha Kappa Psi, and I'm double concentrating in marketing and finance in the School of Management and minoring in advertising in College of Communications.
My name is Connor Goodman. I'm also an Alpha Kappa Psi. I'm majoring in advertising, minoring in SMG and mechanical engineering.
Hi guys, my name is Shivani Mathur. I'm also a brother in Alpha Kappa Psi. I'm studying journalism and economics, and I'm a senior.
It's a co-ed, large national business fraternity. If I was going to describe it, I'd say it's a brotherhood of motivated individuals at institutions of higher education that really condones just working together, leadership, taking ownership over something and doing it, whether it be community service, whether it be social, philanthropic, just a group of motivated individuals who have a passion for business, who come together and do cool things. But it's more than a club; it's a fraternity, and I really do believe that.
Yeah, I think everyone in it is super different, and it's not just like your typical business leader, and that's why initially when I heard about Alpha Kappa Psi, it's kind of like it's a business fraternity. I don't study business. I'm not that too interested in it, but when I learned more about the professional aspect and how brothers are studying all different majors, but they've incorporated Alpha Kappa Psi in their life in some way, whether it be on a more personal level or the professional level, they've incorporated it, and that was really interesting to see how people are from all different majors and backgrounds.
Alumni networking is, I'm being in the Navy. I have a job right after college, but from what I've seen since I pledged as a freshman to now, it's when you join Alpha Kappa Psi, you're connected to such a strong network of alumni that have amazing jobs. Ernst & Young, Red Bull Marketing, Goldman Sachs, IBM, and you're directly connected on a first name, brotherhood basis to all these people who get these great jobs. And as soon as you graduate, you're connected a lot more than other students in SMG or just BU as a whole.
Absolutely, and it's not just a new chapter either. It's really all over the world, I would say, because even within the U.S. alone, there's just so many chapters and so many brothers that, actually the other day I found out that my boss over where I work is actually an AKSI alum from another chapter. So it's really not only the alumni from this chapter, but it's also alumni from chapters all around the U.S. and all around the world.
Yeah, no, they're not only there just for jobs and networking, and they're not just there as a means to an end. They're also there just to provide advice,
mentorship,
mentorship, because you don't really find that in college easily unless you seek out for it.
I'm only taking my second comp course right now, but even though it's only my second comp course, I've already seen just so many benefits from taking these comp courses. For example, the comp writing class that I was in last semester, the spring semester, it basically taught me a lot about thinking really outside the box and really analyzing situations, not really from the surface, but really digging deeper and then searching for other meanings, I guess.
Students basically have, what I've seen is they have an extra charisma and people skills more than other students I've seen at BU, and I think that's because most of the classes you take, whatever your major is in comm, requires you to interact with other people. For example, in journalism, you have to go and find different sources. You have to interact with different people in Boston. In film, you have to find different actors. In advertising, you're talking to clients. So you really, just in your basic classes, even in comm 201, the writing class, I interviewed cab drivers, so that I was just a freshman. I'm already going out and speaking to people, so just having that confidence of speaking to people and how to approach people, I think that's so important in business. That's probably more important than anything else you'll learn.
What I learned from Comm 201 more than anything is not to take any type of writing for granted, whether it be a press release, whether it be a newspaper article, an editorial, or an interview. Everything's written very specifically and with a very, very specific rubric. And, I just go around reading the newspaper differently now because of how I had to do the assignments.
It's also, going on from that topic, it's a great way to show students that you really need to be cautious of who your audience is and how you should really structure your paper according to that audience, because if you're writing a memoir, that's obviously going to be very different from writing a film criticism or anything like that. So you really have to separate what your objective is.
And we're writing all the time in college, but the difference I think in comm was that you learn how to write very directly and you don't add all this extra fluff. Like our teachers told us all the time, like write it in the fewest words possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because like in liberal arts classes or in high school, you were told you kind of learn how to write in a way that makes you sound smarter and somehow a bit like you think that you'll get a better grade from that, maybe like a bit more pretentious sounding, but in comm it's you kind of have to like relearn how to write, like start from the basics. My teacher used to just like take my paper and like slash out all these unnecessary words, and your paper is shorter but it's so much more important, like the message is so much clearer actually when you use fewer words.
I joined Alpha Kappa Psi when I was in SMG, and then I transferred to comm afterwards. But that's where I kind of it kind of clicked how communication and business coexist. I think it's really important because it's more of just being able to write well, but also how you think about each individual communicative experience you have with a business partner or client or somebody that you're working with, and how important things are.
So I'm sure that you've heard this plenty of times before. You're going to find teamwork in anything that you do in your career. So while SMG is wonderful in sort of helping you build that initial sort of sense of team, what COM does is it sort of like pushes that even further. So in SMG, you're giving these team projects where it's very academic. It's you're using these mathematical equations to compare companies, to look at how they're doing in the past and to predict how they will do in the future. COM, on the other hand, it gives you a lot more leeway. So you do have teams, but you're not really, going through all this mathematical analysis. Instead, you're going off of what you know, like common sense, what you've seen in the real world, and what you've like learned from classes. It's not teamwork isn't always going to be numbers, crunching numbers. It's going to have that facet of creativity in there.